Hello and welcome to today's No FOMO Charts Stocks and Crypto TA live stream. Today is Sunday, 11/6/2022. It's about 8:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. If you're watching live right now, could you go ahead and just say hi in the live chat so I can know some people are here? Hello and welcome everybody on YouTube, TradingView, and Twitch. Let's go ahead and get started. So the big news this week is we still have USA stock market earnings season that continues with dozens of companies reporting. Last week, the USA Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank both raised interest rates by 75 basis points increase. And so that's going to have an effect on inflation and prices and the demand and supply growth, at least in USA and Europe as well. So some of the companies that I'm taking a look at here, if you're in the Discord group, I released this list. Activision Blizzard, LYFT, Walt Disney, AMC Entertainment, Blink Charging, Norwegian Cruise Line, Novavax, Plug Power, Beyond Meat, CGC, Rivian Automotive, Roblox, AstraZeneca, Neo, just to name a few. And some of the economic data we have, especially this week, is in the USA, we have November 8th midterm elections. That's basically nationwide and state-specific elections, which will have an effect on the market, I believe. Then we have CPI, core CPI numbers, some unemployment claims again, consumer sentiment, and the inflation report. So although there is a holiday in the USA this Friday, the stock market itself is still open. And let me bring my windows back up here. The stock market itself is still open. So people are still going to trade probably on that day. One moment, please. Okay, we're back. So this brings us to the S&P 500. What's going on with the S&P 500 right now? So this year in 2022 till now, we're still in a downtrend. Still in the downtrend. So we have to remember that the markets, they go up, uptrend, and they also go down, downtrend. So we're in a period of downtrend right now. Some could call it recession, some could call it just downtrend, some could call it inflation problem. Whatever people believe in based upon the data is true. It's still going down, okay? So we have to realize that 2020 to 2021 were some great gains with the uptrend. Now it's going downtrend. So specifically where we are right now is the S&P 500 had a bit of a pullback. We had the potential. We held this double bottom. We had this resistance. But with the FOMC, especially last week, pulled back down. Let's make this gray. Okay, so we're essentially going a little bit sideways in terms of the price. There's a little trend line with a little pivot point. This can be interpreted multiple ways because in the very short term, the October to November, there is a little bit of an uptrend trying to develop right now. This 370, I'm going to delete this alert. This 270 right here could be considered a pullback on the intraday, right? Because we had the FOMC reaction, but it was saved by some dip buyers at the 370 range. So that's our support for right now, 370, 365, and then the big support way down here, the double bottom, 355. So just something to watch out for. The daily is attempting to uptrend. It's attempting. All right, if we turn this price back on, we can see high, low, higher high. Okay, lower, low. It was attempting. Can we make a lower high at least? That would be nice. All right, on the 4 hour, slightly different, right? A little bit of momentum building. That's why it might not be over this little bounce. MACD on the 1 hour's open, but the EMAs have down crossed. Okay, it did death cross on last Thursday. So this is what I'm saying is we're stuck going sideways in the price from this 377 between the 370 range. So these are the two numbers that I'm basically looking at, 377, 370, to see if the market is, okay, are we going to get bear follow through, bear power, continuation to the downside, or is the market mentally going to price in rate hikes, and now that the FOMC meeting's over, are we actually going to get a breakout, right? It really depends. We're not quite oversold yet, but we've been holding this 370 support now in the price for several days now. So it's going to be interesting. All right, let's move on to QQQ. So QQQ, same thing. This is a daily chart, still in the downtrend, okay? I'll speed this one up. I'm looking at this support now. This was almost upside down head and shoulders, but we faded back down to 260. However, we bounced right off the support level, right at the bottom of 260. So now I'm thinking, okay, is this going to be a double bottom? If it's going to be a double bottom, that'd be nice. Right, because 284, what's the range of this actual box? It's 10%. Just retracing halfway is 5% back to 272. So still in the downtrend. But is this our temporary tradable bottom? Maybe, right? Because I know the news is all bearish about interest rate hikes and whatnot and recession. But at the same time, the price though, the price showing me temporary level of support right at 261. If we could hold that in this example, it might not go the full 10% retrace because of the bearish news, but still, I mean, this is the trade setup. The problem is we could get, that's the bullish setup if it bounces back to 284. However, if it pulls back down, we could get a piercing of this support level just like June, July. Okay, that's what in the bearish setup, I'm concerned about that. So if I just randomly bought tomorrow morning, the downside is all the way here down here at 250. Okay, so it's not quite a uptrend rally yet. We didn't have the greatest earnings. Tech earnings was basically mixed or bad. So we didn't have the rally that most traders were hoping for, the bulls. But still, the fact that we're hanging on and going sideways. Okay, just a quick glance at the futures. Okay, the futures is going sideways, inside bar, at least right now. Okay, the ES1, S&P 500 futures, inside bar to the side. Dow Jones futures, trying to hold on. Okay, so now let's switch over to Dow Jones, the actual ETF. So Dow Jones had a better rally because of companies such as McDonald's bouncing off this double bottom, but now it's reaching a gap resistance zone at the top here around the 335 range. So that's what I'm a little bit concerned about for Dow Jones. If the Dow Jones does not maintain a higher high and higher low breakout uptrend, like upstairs pattern, this could be our lower high. The resistance right here at 326 and 331, right? If it bounces and then it fades down, could be a big problem. Could be a temporary quick dump for down to the downside for Dow Jones. There's some Dow Jones companies reporting this week, like Walt Disney, etc. So we have to, we have to really watch out for those. Okay, if I put the retracement, the 50% retracement is 309. Okay, if we're looking bearish, if I'm looking bullish, maybe I could fib extension this thing and see, okay, the 2618, 336, 342, 353 are all these hidden resistances up there. Still uptrending. It's fine, right? We got that golden cross on the 4 hour with a little bit of this momentum. Okay, so it's going to take some fundamentals for this ETF to crash. So if we can hold above 318 Dow Jones, we'll see what's going on there. I do want to point out though on the weekly it is getting close to that resistance pattern zone, right? If we go to QQQ weekly, it's actually closer to a support level. It's not quite at the bottom yet. S&P 500 weekly, kind of in the middle of the range. So just want to point that out for people. I don't want to get too bearish. I don't want to get too bullish. It's just play the charts. But if I'm a bull, I want to try to get in at the lowest price possible. We did have that one fear day right here on October 13th. Okay, let's move on. Let's do a couple more ETFs here. So we'll look at gold, had a nice gap up. Very nice gap up. But gold's still in the downtrend, okay, on the daily downtrend. The only good thing is holding the support level right here above 150 on this ETF. This is a nice support play. Pierce right into the support and bounce the day afterwards. Very good. Very good. Still in a descending triangle pattern. So for gold to really break out here on the ETF side, it needs to uptrend, pull back, make sure it's not going to go down anymore, and then uptrend breakout out of there. So silver, very similar, is that even if you turn off all the indicators, we can kind of see there is a secret support level down here above $16, $17. Now it's just consolidating. Now it's towards the resistance side. So we can use a rectangular tool to kind of box it in. And what's the range here? 5 to 10% basically, or 5 to 15%. So very good, right? So silver, if silver is going to break out, because it hasn't really done much in terms of uptrending, it had a large sideways move, downtrend, and now another sideways move. Could this be our upside down head and shoulders? That would be beautiful. The neckline is very high. So it's more of a rectangular play. So if it's going to break out, the 50% target is $22. If it just pulls back halfway, that's obviously 18 and 16. So 20, 18, 16, 22, and like a $15 other support and resistance levels. I'll be wary of this, right? Because sometimes breakouts, right, like this, fake out and they just pop up and fold back down. So we're going to have to see. Okay, US oil, nice little bounce. Like I was saying, I remember saying, watch out for these two bounces. We could bounce. Even though we had the giant head and shoulders, we've still found the support level and it's attempting this uptrend. It's attempting the higher high right now. This is more fundamental based, but the fact that we pierce through all these EMAs is good for now for US oil. I'm not talking about the inflation price at the gas pump. That's too high. But the USO ETF right here, managing to bounce and survive. The bulls are really, really trying to avoid this head and shoulders catastrophe bearish crash. Now it turned into a bit of an upside down head and shoulders play. The market's trying to price in some knowledge and news. If it's breaking out to the upside, that could take us back up 15% to 86.90. Could take several months to get there. So the support 75.32, 70, and 65 is what I'm looking at. There's another resistance here, 81. So just watching this is trying to uptrend on the weekly, the daily, still trying to uptrend. If we can hold that, it was a bit of a sort of ascending triangle, not really. Could be a rising wedge. So the resistance right here about like $78, $79 area. It is a gap up though, so I'd be wary of that. Very short-term charts might have problems right here in the 1 hour, 4 hours, kind of oversold. So I might pull back a little bit down to one of these EMA $75 range. Okay, UNG just got that daily death cross here on Friday, November 4th. That low here, I remember saying, everybody on the stream, for 2 to 3 weeks, there's a potential support right here at the 18. So other chartists, technical analysts, traders, they identified that, not just me. And but I did say it on the stream several times that we could have a potential support here, and this was generally the risk reward. You know, there's a 10 to 5 or a 20 to 10, 2 to 1 reward to risk ratio for investors, and it popped up to the upside. It's great, nice little support play. The problem is we broke out in the next step. I mean, is we broke out above the trend line. Okay, can it maintain that momentum? Can we actually get some higher highs out of here for once on UNG? I know it doesn't make any sense because the inflation price of gas is so high, but this is just it's an asset investing and trading fund asset based upon natural gas futures, I believe. Also, there seems to be a hidden trend line here as well. Not perfect, but establish that pivot point. And we can also see that the resistance, it was more of a support play, right? If the price was up here, I would not say to anybody, maybe buy that or go bullish. That's a bearish setup if it's all the way up there, the top of the resistance. But it was down here at the near the support level. So even though it doesn't make any sense, fundamental or news wise, on the charts, buy low, sell high, right? It's support. Why not? Right? So that was the play. Now just watch out for some continuation. The 1 hour is attempting to up cross. It is kind of in this ascending, rising wedge type of formation on the 1 hour. See if that's going to hold. It is at the top of that wedge though. Okay, we'll look at a couple stocks just visually. Might go a little bit, might hit the 1 hour mark on this stream or a little longer. But it's important just to keep an eye on some of these other stocks. For example, let me get Apple right now. Because the FOMC, it actually had to fade down. Okay, so Apple now near a relative support level. If we can hold that, that would be nice for a bounce. But the next level down is 129.69. So just watch out for that. Microsoft, what happened here? Another bearish pullback, okay, because of the earnings. So it's making lower lows. Lowest low of 2022 was Friday or Thursday, and it had a nice bounce on Friday. So still, it's not quite super oversold, but there's momentum building. So just keep an eye on tech stocks. Tech stocks, they are crashing this year, but at the same time I view it, if you have cash on the side, it's not financial advice, this is just my own personal thoughts, is that, if something is 30%, 50%, 60, 70% off tech stock, eventually I'm gonna buy that. When the inflation problem is over, I'm gonna buy that. Why? Because it is the price is lower price. Now the value of Microsoft stock, that's a different story. It's just we're talking about relative price moves. Okay, Google. What happened to Google? Well, they had their mixed earnings, and the YouTube ad revenue and all that stuff is down. So we had some pretty significant bearish moves, almost 20% to the downside. So this is a little bit oversold. If I bring in a Bollinger Band here just to get the visual, where's Bollinger Band? Okay, it did pierce out of the lower range of this Bollinger Band. So that was an interesting super oversold setup on Google. If anybody was watching this on Thursdays, that's why it kind of bounced up to the upside. It was really oversold with dual bull MACD momentum building on this thing. It's still downtrending, but anyone who was able to capture this low, that was easy 4 or 5% on that one day of trading. So that's why I'm keeping an eye on these tech stocks, right? It's not all, I mean, if somebody's holding from the top, that's brutal, right? If they're trying to hold for 10 years or something and they're down maybe 50% on an account, I mean, that's really emotionally and financially devastating. However, if somebody has cash on the side, a little bit of discretionary income, trying to figure out where to buy is, well, Google, 50% off, 40% off from the highs of, I'd call it the pandemic highs. Next, Amazon. We had another gap down on Amazon. It was already downtrending on some of the mixed earnings and pulled back another 10% on FOMC news. So Amazon is at the lowest price of 2022, basically. Very interesting. Finally hit this oversold range. However, I'm not going to try to catch the falling knife because I want to see a formation like in the blue circle. I need a little bit more time as an investor for me to jump in on this. Why? Because if it's going down, it hasn't shown me it stopped yet. It didn't show me, the price didn't stop dropping yet. So just something to think about. Okay, we'll just look at a couple stocks that have earnings. And so for these, companies. This is more about the earnings that's coming out this week. So I personally don't play earnings the minute it breaks out because there's algorithms and bots and robots and people who get the information first. So I wait a little bit for a little bit of a clearer direction on market reaction. However, it's still good to know the support resistance, the trend, and what's going on with these companies, right? So ATVI, Activision Blizzard, they make just a bunch of video games, and their past couple earnings, at least on the two numbers here, these are not the full financial statement, but just on earnings and revenue, has been kind of either bad or mixed, right? But the 2020 pandemic low, right here, right above here on the 618, still in the down. It's actually going sideways. This is a very strange stock, but this gap up was because Microsoft, I believe, tried to buy ATVI, right, to get into like gaming industry or something like that. So, not the prettiest chart, but there is gap support. So we just play support and resistance right now. And let me bring up one other chart here. ATVI moves about $1 a day. So that's about, I just call it 1.5%. Okay, so, but when you have really, really amazing news, I mean, you can have an incredible gap up of this like 25%. So that's why for earnings, I don't really play earnings unless someone's trying to do some kind of option strategy, because if a play is really wrong, it could go down negative 25% in one day, in 24 hours. That's why I don't do earnings. In terms of stock trading, I don't do that. So it's good to know though. All right, if it drops down, where's the level of supports? 67, 65. There's the easy one, 786 and 0.88, 61.55, right? So ATVI, did they make money this year in terms of revenue and their sales? I mean, they released a couple new games recently, but that's what the market's gonna look for. What happened with Microsoft deal? What's going on there? And did they basically make money in the company? That's all people care about. Resistance, 77, 82, $86 to the upside. That's not the most pretty chart, but still in a downtrend. Very volatile. Okay, next one, LYFT. LYFT. We saw rewind. We saw what happened with Uber. Okay, Uber kind of mixed, right? So we have to think about it because with the changes in the pandemic, less people are traveling in terms of, more people are traveling, but more people are driving their own cars. It seems like in USA, according to Uber. So LYFT, maybe they're going to have some kind of earnings problem as well. So I just want to watch out for that. Big downtrend 2022, but again, to me, I view this more as discount. LYFT is currently 78% off. The IPO price, I remember this IPO. I remember the day I was watching it on the day it came out. It's $88 start price. And now it's $14, 88% off or something like that. So 85% off. So I'm interested in LYFT, but I want to see the earnings first. As long as the company doesn't go bankrupt, it's okay. And if they have a chance to make some more revenue as well, profit margins, net revenue. Okay, so it moves about $1 a day as well, which in this stock is about 9% a day. So it's a pretty volatile stock, 9%. Where's that? $15. But the clear resistance is 16, 18, 21, etc., 12, 10. That's what we're looking at. Still in the downtrend, brutal gap down a couple months ago in April. Real tricky trend line. So until this trend line gets broken to the upside, it's very, very steep downtrend. Descending wedge, right? It needs to break out like that. So just watch out for that. I'll do a couple more. Let's do just a couple big ones and move on to crypto. So Disney, okay, Disney is obviously a very, very global, large company. From 2021, with the departure of Bob Iger, former CEO, all the way down negative 50% right now. Very interesting. Disney hit almost hit its pandemic low, right? Hit this almost, I'm gonna call this double bottom right here at $92. That's why Disney is not over yet, except the earnings coming out this week on Tuesday p.m. kind of make or break it for Disney, and it affect the Dow Jones as well. So until it breaks out above 106, 116, 125, Disney has some proving to do. So in terms of support, $93, we need to hold about that for Disney. Okay. So we have to realize that with the COVID, if you've been following Disney for a long time, is that the park revenue, the actual theme parks in America, during COVID went way down. And then they basically tried to focus on streaming and on demand, like movies and TV as well, Disney Plus, that launch and expansion. So now Disney is kind of like a Netflix competitor now, a streaming competitor. So that's going to be in the focus as well. Disney Plus subscriber count, something to watch out for. So Disney moves about $3 a day. That's about 3%. So 3%, 6% target. Again, 627 is the immediate. If they have some incredible news, I mean, blowout, 10% earnings, okay. If it's a 10% gap up, that's like 110. But the only formation that I'm seeing right now is the potential double bottom. If it can reach to 125, that would be nice. But I'm not going to jump in for it just yet, because the stop loss is very large. It's like 10% down. So this is a true investment play. It's trying to make like 25%, with 10% risk during this inflation period. All right, so it's something to watch out for. Next, let's do a meme stock. Let's do AMC. Okay, AMC, the original meme stock darling, has been fading down for almost 2 years now, since 2021. If we Fibonacci this, get some resistance, trend line, support, trend line. The only thing is it's closer to the bottom side, okay? Now, AMC is an entertainment, a movie theater company. Also, they released their like ape token that's tradable, or the ape units they call it. But it is closer to the support side. This looks almost like the like the NASDAQ chart. So what I'm looking for is, if it has bad earnings, I'm looking for a big pierce down, and maybe something like this. It might not go back down to $1 because people are hodling, but the down piercing is what I'm looking for. I'm not going to buy it now. So 54 cents average daily move. That's a lot. That's about 9% a day. So 9%, if it just gaps down 10%, that's 507. Just hovering over the 0.88 right now. Let's get a pivot right here. Let's see, $4 by 3, right? If it's really bad, it's not quite overextended to any particular direction, still in the downtrend. Okay, so if it was going to uptrend, let's just hypothetically say AMC has some good earnings. We need to see this price action develop. So level of support, it could be right about 550. That's fine. And if it's good, can uptrend. But if it's bad, the same thing. You could have a V-shaped reversal, I like to call it, just dump, right? It's already going down, so the price could just dump easily on the AMC earnings. All right, let's just visually do like a couple more, because these other ones, NVAX still in the downtrend, but not quite hitting its low. This is interesting. It looks like it hit some kind of, oh, below its 0.88. Wow. So NVAX is 95% off, but with people not needing as many vaccines, as the demand is down, so that therefore the price is down. Okay. Last one, NIO. If you're into electric cars, this is I believe it's a Chinese electric vehicle company. All right, so they resume production. Okay, interesting. Right, just bounced off this 0.88, so they really need to show something. Something needs to happen on their earnings report for this thing to really bounce up, 30%. But NIO is pretty volatile, and it can be shorted as well. So just watch out for that one. All right. let's move on here. All right, we might be going an hour today. Let's go on to crypto. So again, thank you so much for watching and following, supporting. I am streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch. We also have a Discord. Let me just refresh the chats because sometimes the chat comments don't show up while I'm streaming. So let me take a refresh break for a second. Okay, if you have a crypto request, just go ahead and let me know after I do a couple of these. All right, so total market cap, cryptocurrencies. Remember last time that I was saying if we hold above 850 billion, we're okay. And we had a nice bullish bounce. Even though the earnings were bad for tech stocks, if we have momentum, just uptrending FOMO momentum, or not FOMO, but just uptrend rally momentum, crypto usually can go up. It could go up. So let's take a step back though in terms of weekly. Again, if we can hold this higher low, you can kind of see it. So we're still up very high off pandemic lows. Okay, thank you. I could do it again. Somebody is requesting SPY. So I mean it's really good to always look at SPY. So I'll do total Bitcoin and we'll just review that for a sec. It's important. So total crypto, total market cap, right? 890 billion. If we could hold these and hold these supports at the blue would be very, very good. Okay, very, very good because it almost looks like the Disney stock itself it's trying to have some kind of double bottom in the bullish scenario, and then if it pushes up to break above the 1 trillion mark, that would be very nice. But if somebody just jumps into the market, for example, right now, this is not a real tradable asset, but the stop loss is like 10% down and it's only 15% to 20% target if the market goes good, right? So it was better to kind of go long about a week or two ago in terms of that. But still, as we're holding this support level, it's good because the MACD is open. We had the MACD is open down here. The RSI is kind of uptrending as well on the weekly. The daily is getting kind of high, but it's trying to break out of this triangle that it was stuck in. The sim triangle. See this here? Basically one of these. Sim triangle, right? So this is good. If it's trying to bullishly break out, perfectly fine. Breakout, retest, and then uptrend out of here for 6 months. That would be nice. All right. But still, we have to watch out for 860 billion. That's the big, big line in the sand. If we suddenly lose that for some reason, then we're in big trouble on crypto. Bitcoin. Finally, we're here. Our big support level that we need to never go below is 18,000, 19,000. We're holding off that. If we zoom out to the weekly, I drew this on a log chart last time. This is also my idea, my profile that I'm still holding in terms of the idea, right? There is a large weekly trend line here for 4-year trend line. And there's also the weekly trend line on the top where we had the double top 65,000 Bitcoin. So this is why the market is hesitating at this exact spot. Potential double bottom on Bitcoin if we can hold the 18,700 level right at that support level. 4 years long trend line is very powerful. That's why bulls are saying, okay, we're just gonna see if we can make a play here, right? I would believe if that's the bull scenario. I would believe if we're going bearish, if we suddenly lost 18,000 and then did this, then this is how you'll know Bitcoin is in big trouble if it does that. For now, we're fighting. Bulls versus bears fighting right at 18,000. It's the championship right now for support. So we have to see, right? Which way is it going to break? Now, the big range that Bitcoin's stuck in between is a larger range between 25,000 and the bottom side of that 18,600. So now you can see on the weekly chart where we stuck between. So the Bitcoin FOMO rally back up to wherever it's going to go, 30,000, 40,000, 50, 60K is not going to start until we break 25K first. and we have to hold 19, 18,000, 1900, 19,000, break above 25, retest, and then people are going to start jumping into crypto saying we're going to go to the moon. It hasn't happened yet, but we're fighting at that spot down there. It's good to have that big that perspective. Almost looks like QQQ, right? We have this open MACD, the uptrending RSI on the weekly. It's just a matter of time. Inflation needs to calm down. The interest rate hikes. Some analysts are saying it's the beginning of the end game for inflation interest rate hikes in the stock market. So it might be interesting. Might be interesting to see. All right, so for shorter term swing trading, it's a different story. If someone's a scalper or a day trader, it's totally different mentality right now. What's going on? We're up trading in the 4-hour, RSI's in the middle, a little bit of bullish momentum building, trying to hold on to these support levels of the EMA. Right here, we're trying to reverse that into the uptrend, right? It's been down for so long, trying to reverse into that uptrend on the 4-hour. The 1-hour looks like this 200 EMA is our support, right? Whenever it pulls back down to here, that's that bounce level. Also, it gets oversold. So it was a little bit oversold right now, but kind of hesitating. There was this one trade right here about 2 hours ago for some scalpers, but the midterm elections in USA, it's probably going to cause a little bit of volatility just because of the hype around it. It is nice that we broke out. Okay, so we're calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. If this is a breakout, that's very good. Holding at the championship support level of 4 years, Bulls versus Bears. Okay. All right. Now let's just quick rewind. Okay, it's good to just look at this. So QQQ, right? QQQ is more at the support level. If you go to SPX, all right, it's still holding this higher low. Okay, quick look at Dow Jones too, DJI. DJI is way up here, so that's different. But SPX is holding. Okay, it's good. We had this double bottom here above 3569. Now this to me looks like just dip buyers coming in at 3703 range. We put this Fibonacci up here, right? Bounce off that 618, and it's right below the 382. Okay, could this be our Morningstar pattern for continuation? It could on the daily. We have to really watch out for that because our resistance is up here at 3900. Okay, it used to be a double bottom. It was uptrend until the FOMC statement kind of crashed things. So now I'm looking for a lower high if it's even possible. And then it'll determine, can we hit this lower high? Can we hit a higher low and maintain, break the resistance and hit this next EMA as a target? That'd be very nice. However, if we lower high, reject down from 3800, we'll get a head and shoulders and it's going to go down. Most likely, unless some fundamental news changes, right? This trend line got broken to the downside. That's why it's a problem right now. So I'm expecting a retest of some kind of range here in the 3800 area. On the 1 hour, you can see here we have some momentum, right? So it's kind of double bottom itself on the 1 hour 3721 range off the 618. That's why it's not super low oversold though. That's why as a bull, I'm not jumping in this yet. Day traders are going to have fun with this one tomorrow. They might get a little pullback in the morning, 9:30 a.m. and then let it recalibrate itself in terms of what trend or what direction we're going off of based upon the fundamental news. So resistance right now, 3788. These are the two levels, 3788 and 3700, that the S&P 500 SPX has to break out of there. It has to do something. It has to break out of here and go up or crash back down. It could go sideways, but I doubt the S&P 500 is just going to go sideways for an extended period of time. Okay, that was a request. Let's move on. Let's go Ethereum, USD. Ethereum, very nice. So remember, if you watch the stream for like a week or two, saying that if we could hold this higher low, just like S&P 500, might get a little bounce here. It was a beautiful bounce, 25% in 7 days, basically, or 10 days, 14 days. Beautiful. Oh yes, we also have the news. We have CPI inflation report as well. So there's Bond market is closed on Friday. Stocks are open on Friday. So it's still going to be a relatively volatile week, in my opinion, for stocks. So Ethereum USD, very nice. Can we hold this higher low? That'd be great. The problem is if anybody's starting crypto, let's say this year, unfortunately, right, is brutal sell-off, negative 77%, negative 72, negative 64% down. Brutal. If somebody started crypto in 2020, they had like the greatest time of their life, right? So it's all relative. If somebody started in 2018, brutal sell-off, devastating. Somebody started in 2019, it's kind of mixed until 2020, 2021. So that's why. It's all depends on someone's perspective. Somebody started Bitcoin in 2016 and they're holding till now. They're rejoicing in the streets, right? Rejoicing in their homes right now. So it's all relative, okay? But if we're talking about 2022 highs to lows, it's down. Ethereum still negative 64%. It was down negative 75% year to date, basically. So can this be our attempt at the higher low? It's still yes, but in the intraday, it's still tightening. Still tightening. So until we really break out of here for real, in the real breakout, 40 to 80%, it has to do that. It's consolidating, it's flag, symmetrical triangle, sideways. This is tradable, but not much is really happening in the big top 10 cryptos for several months. I'm talking about like big 500% moves and stuff like that. So we have to see, where would the 40% breakout be? 2239, that's Ethereum back to 2200. 40% the downside would take us to sub $1,000. Not good. The only good thing is we were in a severe downtrend, found support, lower high, oh, higher low. Okay. All right. On the weekly chart, by the way. So fading down a little bit. The daily, this is not the best spot to long right now. Breakouts are always kind of dangerous. See, this is right here. When I was saying in the stream for several weeks, is the fact that Ethereum is going sideways, big suspicious play. That's a better spot to long here. It's the bottom support, right? If somebody tries to long here because it's already up 25%, now there's 25% downside risk. Dangerous for swing trading. All right. So just keep that in, let's just keep that in mind. We're still floating around and bouncing around in this triangle. So until it's still uptrending. That's a good thing. So until it breaks out for real, I'd be a little bit hesitant on this. If somebody caught this on the last stream, very nice. Congratulations. Just watch out. Once it hits the top, is it going to break out or reject down? That's what I'm concerned about right here at 1753. Okay, Binance Coin. Thank you for following. Appreciate the follow and the chats and the requests. Hope you have a nice week too. Thank you. A nice comment on TradingView. All right, so Binance Coin, BNB USDT. All right, it was interesting. I did see more people talking about Binance Coin this weekend and chat rooms and forums and such, but it could be because there was the inverse head and shoulders play here, and there's a breakout right at 334, right? So you want to watch out for that. That's our inverse head and shoulders neckline. If this is true, Binance Coin should go 66% to like 550 up here. However, the support play, I mean, the rest of the market hasn't done that yet. The only good thing is it broke out of this trend line. Again, these little breakout plays, they're happening if people are kind of watching for it. Okay, I'm going to draw this, even though this pierced severely to the downside. But the fact that it went up, okay, at least held the support, and now it's trying to make that higher high. Or it could just go a little bit and pull back. You can see something like that on Binance Coin, be very nice. Always be aware of the V-shaped reversal fails too, because it could fail. So if something bans crypto and crypto mining, this thing could go straight nosedive to $200. So always remember that risk. It's crypto. So the bottom side stop loss could be 25 to 50% on a small to medium position. and the upside is 50%. So it's basically turned into an investment play at this point. When it was down here at the support last week, that's a different story, right? At 259, it's different. The daily, it is in the overbought range. The weekly is kind of neutral range, but even here in the weekly, there's a beautiful upside down head and shoulders right here, right? Beautiful. With momentum, right? So if somebody's going to hold this, probably if somebody's an investor, you need to hold it for a long time, unless the company turns bad, Binance. So the 4-hour, trying to maintain that H4 uptrend on the EMAs. Same thing with the H1, although it did pull back to 333. Interesting, already had this dump here on the 1-hour on the Binance coin. So it's going to test it to see, are we going to hold here, or is this the start of some kind of downtrend fading on the 1-hour? I want to watch out for that. If anyone has any crypto requests, go ahead and let me know in the live chat boxes here. And I'm going to go rapid fire on some of these other ones. Look at a daily chart for some longer swing trading investing time frames. Okay, we're looking at Solana USDT. Let's call it the support resistance. Support at $27. Our new line in the sand. 27, and we have this top side triangle closing it in above 37. That's the short-term perspective. Now, if I zoom out, there is a very large head and shoulders pattern. So on Solana, if we lose $25, we're in big trouble. This altcoin would be in big trouble if we lose $25, because that would basically be the start of a maybe perhaps negative 90% catastrophic pullback. Support is all the way down here at $4. If you lose 25, it's going down to 4. Okay, so that's why I'm watching this very close. You could set alerts here for between 39 and 27 if somebody's trying to play this thing. And remember, buy low, sell high, right? So the support play was 2 weeks ago on this, holding this, and then it uptrended 40%, right? But it hit that resistance, now it's back down. So it's not really the time to buy unless somebody's trying to do like a dip buy trade or something like that. But the more it goes up, the less reliable the dip is, right? In general. 1 hour at this time, okay, support play, see if it could bounce up, that'd be nice. Here, if it goes back up to 35, if I was going to do this, the stop loss is previous lows. It's not financial advice, just an educational example. 7% and 40%, maybe a 40% target. It might not quite get up there though, but it is oversold. So I have to just watch that. The request, MATIC. Okay, MATIC, $1.22 right now. And it had quite the run up, on this particular Binance chart, the open to the close right here. Just like Ethereum, trying to maintain continuation here. So there might be some kind of hidden trend line from the bottom. Right there. That's what people are writing. The top yellow trend line. That's what people are doing right now. So a little bit kind of like Jenga. It's very highly correlated with Bitcoin, right? These two support levels, because Bitcoin did the exact same thing, so did Ethereum. That's why as long as Bitcoin and Ethereum can maintain a higher high, then MATIC is probably going to follow. Zoom out even to a monthly. To a monthly, it's kind of high from its original 1 cent price from 2 years ago, but it's trying to find some kind of support level wherever it was, and for now it's 40 cents and trying to bounce up to the upside, right? With crypto, it's always difficult to try to wait for the lowest low, right? So that's why try to buy low, sell high. So a little bit overextended even on this daily chart. Is it oversold? According to that criteria on our side, it is not oversold. It was oversold 5 days ago, right here at 85 cents, and had a nice pop of 40%. That's why I'm trying to just buy a dip, buy support, buy low, and put on some risk is better than waiting. In terms of just watching, observing, like somebody's a real trader, have to put some risk on somewhere at some point, right? So it's just wherever the lowest is, that I believe is a support play, or even on a 5 minute, this thing might have had, let's zoom in here, because sometimes some of these plays are triggered by day traders in terms of where is the initial buy spot, right? So this one might have even been like a 2 minute play. Can't zoom in that far back. But this had, it could have been fundamental as well. This is 2, so this is kind of that Australian, New Zealand Open. So something must have happened here on MATIC where somebody could have been a bunch of group buyers or dip buyers or news catalyst, whatever it was, triggered the buy. But it started uptrending really hard on this 15-minute, right? So it's uptrending. And now it's trying to hold the higher low above 113.80. So this is our support now, 113.80. But the resistance problem of 123 and 128, right? The move, it's a large move. It's already 50%. So I want to watch out on some of these FOMO plays. It all depends on, is somebody a day trader trying to make a couple percent, or scalper trying to make like 1% or 0.5%, or somebody a swing trader trying to make 10, 20%, somebody's an investor trying to make 50+%. It's 4 different mindsets, or at least 3 different mindsets, right? So for this one, I want to watch out for this. It could get continuation, but as it stands at this moment in time, it's too high. The RSI is overbought. This thing's probably going to pull back. It could pull back all the way down to 117 unless there's a catalyst play. Like unless there's some major FOMO plays where this thing goes up nonstop, which sometimes happens. But if it's a regular crypto play and it's not FOMO, everyone in the world is going to jump in on MATIC, this thing should pull back. Because that's to retest one of these supports down here, 120, 119, 118. Has to come down. And then maybe it'll go up again. Or at least bounce for a lower high, fade down, or pull back to one of the EMAs and then pump higher. So that's what MATIC's got going on for it right now. Very tradable. I remember MATIC when I used to trade a lot in crypto. It's very day tradable. It could be a little bit different now, but it's 1,000% higher than 2 years ago. So just watch out for that as if you're an investor. Depends. Right, 1,000% up, but then also you could 10x more, right? It just depends on the fundamentals as well. Just watch out for this risk down here. For example, what I mean by that is if I randomly bought MATIC right now, and I'm not singling anybody out, I'm just using this as risk educational example, but just randomly bought right now, where's this big support level? About 15% down. This last large line close, or the candle body close. Okay, so then I need to target, where's the next target? Probably the 50% retrace if it's ever going to get up there at 30% or 50%, and then just wait for that. It could take like 2 months as an investor. So the only thing good about this altcoin, there is that potential upside down head and shoulders on the weekly, right? There's a lot of signs that the crypto market was going to bounce, but entering right now, just be a little bit cautious, please. But it is your investment, your trade. You do whatever you want with your account. The free world in crypto trading. All right, Cardano USDT. Cardano fading down, fading to the downside. Let me take off these alerts because it keeps alerting me. ADA USDT. ADA. So Cardano used to have a lot of momentum behind it because the project and the news and what it was trying to do worldwide, but it's faded down. Remember our 2021 high till now is 85% down. That's why we might at some point we're going to see the bounce on crypto, like a large one. And I believe it's probably going to happen either right before inflation problem worldwide, USA and Europe is going to reverse. And then, meaning this is what I believe is usually when people have some extra money coming in, discretionary money, like tax refund or something, that's when you usually see some people putting money into crypto and stuff like that and other stocks. Right now, because of inflation, that's why not as many people are jumping in, and there's no uptrend to FOMO off of, right, or rally off of. So that's why nobody's really jumping in right now. But when it's over, the inflation problem, and when this thing gets down to wherever the lowest is going to go, wherever it's going to be, right? It might even be 95% off. Like Cardano could go all the way down to 30 cents, 20 cents, or 15 cents. And then I might want to buy there because the upside potential of that could be huge, 200% plus, 100%. That's why. Also, the fact that Cardano's stuck under the trend line, no moves happening yet. Like in terms of large 50% moves, not yet. Right, descending wedge. Eventually, this thing breaks out to the upside. So, I'm gonna watch out for that if it's gonna go to 68 or something like that. If not, you could see 32.27 here on the downside. Now, do we have momentum? On the weekly, there's momentum. So weekly investors are gonna have to wait a long time for that. Swing traders, just have to wait for our oversold bounce. Or just wait for it. Is it here? It might be here. Right. In terms of the 1 hour, somebody's trying to do a tight swing trade. Well, it is at the bottom of this wedge support. What's the volatility in this range? About 6-7%. That's a 3% play, right? 3 to 1 or 2 to 1. Possible. Support with it needs a little bit more momentum to show up though. Looks like Cardano is very triggered by the day traders. Okay, looks like we got to end soon. So in terms of the time, I'll do rapid fire on the rest of these cryptos, see if anything jumps out. So XRP trying to hold on to this double bottom, trying to establish a higher low, breaking out of its resistance or not. Just watch out for that. Right above 50, basically 50 cents will be the breakout if it's going to happen or not. AVAX, okay, this double bottom still exists here above $15. So if that goes, that would be a very nice, if it goes to the top, that's 60% to the top here. AVAX, very interesting play, not the most famous crypto in the world. But the bottom stop loss there, this is still an investment though. It's 3 to 1, 60% to 20% risk on a small, medium-sized position. Hopefully that does not turn into a large head and shoulders, which would dump us to the downside. Just want to watch out for that. It's kind of buying relatively high and hopes it goes higher. It's a different style play. DOT. There is some bullish momentum here on DOT. You can see it because it's rounding and turning around here. And the MACD is starting to angle up. The RSI lows are angling up, very subtle. But it's possible the weekly as well. You get the momentum and you get some RSI momentum here. Looks like DOT might rally. Possible. DOT about 85% down, and the downside would be okay, an additional like negative 20% down. But right here on the upside, there could be about 27 to 91, etc. Okay, so this one is a very investable play, but risky still. It's not the most famous crypto. The 4 hour is even trying to get out of its downtrend right now. Any comment? Somebody on TradingView said, I don't get alerts anymore when I go online. You might, not sure how that works with the TradingView, but on YouTube, if you subscribe on YouTube and notifications, you should get the notifications when I go live, or Twitch as well. In my Discord group, a few minutes before I say when I go live. So I'm streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord, and you should be able to see it if you're logged in. On the streams, it shows up. Even I see myself right here on the little triangle right here. But it does I'm not sure if a rectangle box like shows up on your chart like right when I start streaming, but it'll show up on this side in this panel. So there's multiple ways to get alerts when I go online streaming, and usually it's Sunday nights. All right, so DOT here. Let's not forget about this play. This one might take a very long time to play out though, months and months, but still, 50 to 100% of passive investing, that would be nice if this is the true bottom of DOT. Doge, all right, we already had its Elon Musk Doge pump here. This is what I'm saying. If we look at this chart, where did the price stop dropping? Right here above 5 cents, right? Went sideways for a very long period of time, and then the fundamental Elon Musk pop. Okay. Somebody asked me for Doge last time. So it just rejected down below the 786. So sometimes it's not good to chase something that's up so high. Is it still oversold? No, it faded back down a little bit. So it's trying to uptrend. The supports, watch out for 10 cents and 8 cents on the bottom here for support. 14 cents is resistance. Shibu Inu. This thing. Symmetrical triangle. I'll take the conservative target, about 25% up or down. If the breakout, 25% takes to 1500. So I'm just very closely watch this little blue spot, the breakout. Is it happening or not? Support at 977. It's not quite oversold. There was momentum building here. It did get close to its all-time low, right? Because before Shibu Inu went to the moon, it broke through 876, and that's basically the lowest support we hit, like 785 or 876, basically. And then it rallied 100% in 2 months. So that's why, is if it keeps going sideways like this, that's actually kind of okay. Because it would be bad if it just does this and goes back to all-time lows of history. It's not, though. It's higher lowing right now, trying to maintain an uptrend breakout. Some traders, in their mind, they're anticipating the move already. Stock traders got a little bit too excited with the interest rate prediction, right? I remember it's just last time, online people were saying, oh, the interest rate's gonna go down, but it actually went up, so we had that pullback down. So sometimes it's not good to anticipate too early the moves. Okay, Atom USDT will end soon. If you have any last minute requests, just let me know. We're gonna end in a few minutes here. Cosmos, again, nice uptrend all the way from June, July, holding this high low above $11. Beautiful to see. Now it just needs to hold the trend line as such. Now, is it going to break above resistance is the big question. Can we have one more big rally bounce? I mean, that's high, low, higher high to 17 or $23 would be beautiful. Trade, that's 20 to 50%. The downside is the former low is 25%. These are very large ranges, so keep in mind that I'm more investor mentality when I look at crypto. Because for me, my mentality is because crypto is very volatile, instead of trying to capture 1% every day, is why not try to capture 150%, right? That's just me, my strategy. So near, interesting, had that oversold bounce. Still some bullish momentum. It's a little bit like DOT, a little bit not quite hitting that lowest low area. The only problem is, okay, well, we definitely fell down out of this rising wedge. Definitely. Now it's definitely looking like a descending wedge. But the fact that it's holding this support level above 281 or $3 is good. So if it happens to break out of a rising wedge, the target is $5, which is an 88% gain. However, the stop loss is important. 280. So the stop loss probably 20%, but that's a 5-to-1. If somebody gets this is a 5-to-1 play, or at least a 4-to-1 or 2-to-1 play. But it's not quite the greatest spot to buy. Buying breakouts dangerous though. Right, it's right at the 0.88. That's why it's a very suspicious looking chart. So I save that for next time. Litecoin, okay, Litecoin had a little bit of a sim triangle breakout. Here we go. And we had a 37% to about a 15%. Hit that hit the 30% target. Very nice. Right? So somebody is anticipating this, right? I'm saying whenever you hit a support level, algorithms and experienced traders are basically, we're all programmed to buy that from experience, right? If a beginner trader buys resistance as a bull and then crashes, if we do that enough times, then we train ourselves to buy the lowest support level. which was the last one was 48.81 right here. With this sim triangle, put on some risk. The stop loss was 95%. But try to chase this now. This overbought. This is dangerous. Why? Because it's going to pull back and test. Unless we have FOMO rally. That's the only thing that changes things. But we have some MACD momentum, not quite oversold. That's why somebody's very disciplined. I'm not hopping into this yet. I would have hopped into it here if I really wanted to do this. Right here, right at the $50 support level, or there was a breakout resistance play at 57. But now this is not the best setup for scalping or trying to get into a swing trade. Want to wait till it comes down a little bit, right? Let the FOMO happen, let it pull back a little bit, and then re-enter that trade. Investor is different. Investor, what are we thinking about? We're thinking about, okay, if this goes here, can it pull back to 63 and then make another higher high? So at some point, you want to get in before, if this starts mooning, if all cryptos start mooning, we just want to get in. Okay. Uni USD still in a downtrend, but testing symmetrical triangle, basically trying to break out the 200 EMA. Link, again, I was saying on Link, there's a very, very suspicious support level right here. What is this, right? So $6. Now the big triangle is 950, or the big resistance rectangle is 950 on top. So once it breaks out of here, it could go 50% more, but we need to see the market really, really rally for that to happen. Are we oversold? No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. 1 hour, 15 hour, 15 minute, 1 hour. Okay, maybe somebody could say, all right, we hit this dip finally. But we shall see, right, on the $8. We shall see. If we zoom way out, put into perspective, it's been downtrending, negative 80%. Beautiful. If you're a bull, you want to see things go down in terms of lower price so you can re-enter potential trades, right? Tron in a very, very large symmetrical triangle, one of the biggest. So until it does something, break out or pull back, right? Just boxing itself in between 65 and 58. Bitcoin Cash, kind of our sleeper crypto in terms of very quiet. It went from $1,000, $1,500, crashed all the way down to $120. Bitcoin Cash could be the play for the future. Why? Because it's so low. But I don't want to use this chart. Let's use like a Coinbase one. You get some actual larger. Remember, you want more price history. So at least this one goes to 2017 before the great crypto rally and crypto crash. So the lowest price of Bitcoin Cash was about 75.80. Right now it's 118.89. It's close enough. It's within 35% of that range. So if we go all-time low to all-time high, when wow, Bitcoin Cash was $3,000. Now it's only 119. But at the same time, low, high, low, lower, high, lower, low, and then it's flagging right now. All right, symmetrical triangle right here. If we have a major crypto rally, this could be an absolute beautiful investment. 100 to 200 to 300%. If Bitcoin goes back to 65,000 or 100K, I mean, we could get like a 10x on Bitcoin Cash. That's why I'm not discounting Bitcoin Cash. I'm not going to throw it away unless the fundamentals change on this thing, on this crypto, where Bitcoin Cash somehow, I don't know, somehow gets corrupted or something goes wrong with the ledger system, right? It still exists, BCH. But if you've been in crypto long enough, you know BCH just kind of follows Bitcoin. So we need Bitcoin to rally first, moon first, then we're going to see some action come back on Bitcoin Cash. Be nice, right? It is hovering out of the oversold range, and the RSI is already wanting to get out of there to the upside. It wants to bounce. Double MACD, bullish momentum, open MACD. If somebody just randomly bought it right now, it's not quite oversold, but still, we look at the big picture for as an investment, right? Just barely broke out of the triangle. We could be looking at the start of some kind of rally right now. It's very interesting. All right, so that's going to do it for the short list right here. I know it kind of got a little bit off topic in the crypto section, but from what I learned in crypto is my style is longer term swing trading and investing. I do some day trading in stocks though. I should say that because stocks is a little bit more, I would say, consistent volatility, whereas crypto has more like consistent long term moves based on the TA from my just general perspective and opinion. All right, so that's gonna do it for today's stream. Thank you so much for everyone for watching. I'm streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. We have a Discord group as well. So if you want to go ahead and give me a follow or like or donation on any of these two platforms, would really be appreciated to keep the ideas going and the stream going. Hope you have a great week this week. And remember, if anybody just came in at the end, there's quite a bit of stock market earnings, right? If you're in my Discord, we can't ignore this. USA November 8th midterm election on Tuesday. Data and earnings. It's going to shake the market this week. So let's have a good week, and I'll see you all next weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.